This is to Governor Shumlin of Vermont. My name is Tracy Gilman. I am the mother of Bill Bennett, who is court-ordered to participate in the Safe Choices program of Northeast Kingdom Mental Health, overseen by Department of Aging and Independent Living, a division of Human Services of the state of Vermont. This is a plea, a request, begging to Governor Shumlin to do something to stop the abuses of Safe Choices. I'm going to tell you what happened today, and today is just like any number of other days over the last 6 years. My son called me this morning and told me that he was having some symptoms that to me seemed to indicate he might have a urinary tract infection. So I made him an appointment with the doctor, and I called my son's case manager to see if a day worker, if he had a day program, and if they could get him there at 2:40. So my son called me about 11:45 and told me that the day worker had showed up, and that the day worker, Terry Moore, informed Bill that he was going to have to be in the examination room during the whole visit with the doctor. I didn't understand this at all, and I spoke to the day worker on the phone and clarified with him the need for him to be in my son's examination with his doctor, and the day worker insisted that he would have to be in the room through the whole examination. This is like having to have somebody go into an examination room with me while I have a pap smear. No. I told the day worker that this is not acceptable. Bill doesn't need a worker in the room with him while he's being examined for a urinary tract infection by his doctor, and the worker insisted that he would be in the room. I told the worker that I would meet him there at the doctor's appointment, and that nobody would be in the room while my son is being examined by his doctor. I mean, it's the most basic right of privacy. So at about 1:30 I drove 60 miles to meet my son at his doctor's appointment. When I arrived, I was late getting there for his appointment. I was probably 15 minutes late due to having to travel 60 miles to get there. The staff person was in the waiting room and not in my son's appointment. And the staff worker said, "Oh, it's too bad you had to drive all this way to get here." And I said, "What are you talking about? You said that if I wasn't here, and I am my son's legal guardian, that you would go into his appointment with him." And he said, "Oh no, since you're the legal guardian and you instructed me and would take responsibility for that instruction, that I wouldn't have to go in." And I said to him, "You never indicated that on the phone. You said you would be going into his appointment." Governor Shumlin, this is bizarre behavior. Who would ever insist that a patient can't meet with their doctor and be examined in privacy? It's bizarre. It's abusive. It's disturbing. Why are we not doing something about the Safe Choices program? It's known. Everybody knows. So many people know about the abuse going on here. There have been investigative reports, there have been articles, there have been multiple victims of this program who come forth and testify that they are denied They're denied basic human rights. They're denied access to education. They're denied access to their families. They're denied any opportunities to socialize with anybody outside of this program. Anybody outside of the program. The Department of Aging and Independent Living in March motioned to remove me as my son's legal guardian based on nothing, based on hearsay. Eventually dropped the motion after costing me a lot of money for 2 attorneys, one for my son and one for myself. They dropped the motion the afternoon before the hearing, and then still asked for an appearance. So I still had 2 attorneys showing up when I have done nothing but advocate for my son, for basics, to be treated like a human being and not an object. Governor Shumlin, I am begging and I am demanding that something be done about this program.